The Indian takeover of Pattaya is a topic trending all over social media at the moment, causing mixed emotions. Some people aren't bothered, others are outraged, there is online hate spreading, and fake AI-generated images are doing the rounds and being spread as gospel. But where there's smoke, there's fire. The number of Indian visitors to Pattaya has jumped significantly in the last year. I am here today to check out the latest in Pattaya, go through some facts, check out the party hotspots, talk about what is real and what is misinformation, and we'll talk about the actual number of Indian visitors to Thailand, because the numbers are increasing, but just how much might shock you. In 2025, the most visited destination for international travel from India was Thailand. In Thailand, Pattaya is by far the most visited. There are even areas of Pattaya that have been nicknamed the Little India. There has been a massive boom in Indian-owned businesses that have opened, hundreds of Indian restaurants, and more recently, an explosion of Indian super clubs has opened on Walking Street. Today, I'll be walking around Pattaya to share my thoughts on this and investigate the information that is spreading online currently. What is real? What is rumors? We have all seen the images of Indian people sleeping on the beach. Are they real or is it AI? Actually, I already know the answer to this, but we will be fact-checking it in person later this evening. And in the evening, we will take a walk through Walking Street and ideally end up in one of the Indian super clubs to see what it's really like inside. In 2025, it's estimated that 2.5 million visitors from India came to Thailand. This is almost double the numbers from just a few years ago. At the end of 2023, the entry requirements for Indian citizens changed, with 30 days on arrival for free. Previously, there was a fee attached to their arrival, but once that was removed, the tourism numbers rocketed. With the influx of Indian tourists visiting, the local businesses adapted to accommodate the new numbers. Right now, I am in a part of Pattaya that is informally nicknamed Little India, and this is basically the second road that's just behind Walking Street, and it starts from where the Walking Street begins all the way up to the third road intersection, heading up to Prasamnak. This area is where the majority of the Indian visitors choose to stay. There's a lot of hotels catering to Indian guests. There are Indian restaurants as far as the eye can see along here. And if you were to take a drive down this road in the evening, it's actually quite fascinating. You'd be forgiven for forgetting that you're in Thailand for a moment. Now, before we get too far into this, I just want to start off by saying I have absolutely nothing against Indian people. One of my best friends in Australia is Indian. That being said, I absolutely love Thailand and I want what's best for here and for the local businesses. Now, with all of that out of the way, now let's get into the stereotypes, why people are lashing out online. And I will either speak to these stereotypes or we will investigate them throughout this video. The first stereotype is people not spending money in bars, and there's an extension of this stereotype of like 5 guys sharing one beer with 5 straws. That one is obviously a joke, but I have seen people not willing to spend in bars. On the flip side of that, just on the walk over here, I saw a big group of guys sitting in one of the beach bars in Pattaya and they had beers everywhere and they were having a great time. Now I'm assuming this is very much a case by case, group by group, but there are many big Indian super clubs here on Walking Street and tonight we're going to be checking them out. The second stereotype is a bunch of guys standing in a circle around a girl trying to negotiate a group rate. Now this happens, but something worth noting is there are people that are entirely open to this. If you come along this street through Little India in the evenings, you will see there are girls all along the street here, and these girls choose to work in this area knowing exactly what they're in for. This is a two-way street, and as it seems, some girls are fine with the bundle rate for a group tour. And then the third stereotype is that everybody sleeps on the beach. Now, I can tell you straight away that this is not true. It is actually illegal to sleep on the beach here in Pattaya. There are patrols, police and security that walk up and down the beach all night. And anyone that is sleeping on the beach will get kicked off, locals included. But I will be checking this one firsthand tonight. As I said, we're going to hit some clubs and on the walk home, we'll see if this does actually happen or not. Now, you can love or hate Indian people all you like, but one great thing about being in this part of town is that there are Indian restaurants absolutely everywhere, and I love Indian food. Right, for lunch I've come into a place called Royal Indian Hut. I got a chicken tikka masala with rice and a garlic naan. This is all gigantic. I absolutely love Indian food, so dying to try this. Oh, that's amazing. It's got some kick to it. A little bit of spice, I like it. Man, that's amazing. You gotta dip the garlic naan in the sauce. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Oh man, that was awesome. Now, as we all know, Pattaya really comes alive at night, so it's not worth making any judgment until the sun goes down and the fun begins. In the evening, I went to grab some dinner, and my plan was to head to Walking Street after and stay well into the night. So I've just come up to Tree Town for dinner, and something that I noticed as I walk around is Pattaya kind of has zones everywhere essentially. This is pretty much all Western people and a lot of Thai locals. If you go a kilometer or so down the road, that's where all the Chinese are. You take a left, that's where all the Korean are. A couple hundred meters down this way is where the Indians hang out. So everyone kind of has their areas. Here it seems to be mostly Western people. Lots of Western people with Thai girls. Anyway, I've come to one of my favorite restaurants to grab some dinner. I am having a peppercorn chicken and just a water for now in preparation for the onslaught of beers that we'll be having a little bit later on. The demographics of visitors to Pattaya has seen a massive shift in recent years. Looking at the overall numbers for Thailand, if you remove Malaysia, as the majority of those numbers are coming from border crossings and short stays, not necessarily people visiting for holidays, China is the next top visitor, with India firmly behind and growing, and these numbers are surprisingly close. Alright, now we've come to check out the madness of Walking Street. This place seems to change every single time I come. There is new places popping up, so let's see what's happening. Right now it is still quite early. It's getting busy, as you can see. Everywhere is just ramping up. But great news, I've just spoken to two of the managers from a couple of the Indian super clubs here, and they're gonna allow me to bring the cameras into the club. Normally cameras are a no-go, but we're gonna see firsthand what it's like inside these clubs. Taking a walk along Walking Street is where you really see the numbers of Indian visitors. As we approach midnight, walking up and down the strip, around 50% of the tourists are from India, and the other 50% is a mix of everyone else. The first club I'll be checking out is Jannat, which was one of the first Indian clubs to open on Walking Street. Entering the club, I didn't know what to expect, but what I saw blew me away. The club was packed, not just with guys, there was actually more ladies than men inside, bottles on every table, and the vibe was insane. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know if you can hear me right now, but that was an amazing experience. Not only was I packed, it was packed full of girls, it was one of the most expensive clubs I've ever been to, and it was going on. After Jannat, I visited a club opposite called Jalwa. Walking inside, yet again, I was blown away. If you thought all Indian people don't spend money, you were wrong. This was one of the most expensive clubs I've been to in Pattaya, with bottles starting at around $200. Everyone inside was drinking. In fact, people kept buying me drinks and inviting me to drink with them. Yet again, this club was packed full of girls and had an insanely good vibe.
Worth noting is that both of these clubs also had the friendliest staff I've encountered in any of the clubs I've visited on Walking Street, and I've been to just about all of them.
Well, it is now the following day, and as I reflect on my night last night, I gotta say, I don't think I went into it with an open enough mind. I mean, I figured the clubs would be busy, there'd be people inside, but I had no idea it was going to be going off like that. I didn't think there would be anywhere near that many girls. There was more than guys. It was like 60-40 girls to guys. The clubs were insanely expensive. They were high-end clubs. The prices of bottles were super expensive. There was bottles on all the tables. I gotta say, it really took me by surprise. When it comes to the online hate, I think what it comes down to is a lot of people don't like change. And I understand this. People come to Pattaya once a year or once every couple of years or something. And Pattaya is changing very fast. What's quite ironic about all of this is it very nearly went in the other direction. A couple of years ago, a lot of Chinese people were buying up. There was Chinese businesses popping up. There was talks of Walking Street converting from being full of clubs and partying and nightlife into more of restaurants and family-friendly and tour-friendly areas. Things happened here over the last couple of years with Chinese people, and the Chinese tourism numbers are down and they're out. And then the Indian market came in and it has really exploded here.
In 2025, most countries saw a decline in tourism to Thailand, while India had significant increase. Tourism in general was suffering in Pattaya, so there has been a shift to keep the place busy. Visiting these clubs opened my eyes to crushing some of these stereotypes that are going around at the moment. Love it or hate it, in Pattaya, the Indian market is here to stay.